My beloved child, I see you there, right now, in this moment, with whatever weight has settled onto your chest today. And I need you to hear my voice cutting through every other sound that has been competing for your attention, because I am Jesus, the one who knew you before the foundation of the world, the one who didn't just design that house I described, but who actually became the cornerstone that every other beam rests upon. And I am speaking directly to you not as a distant authority, but as the friend who has walked every hallway of your interior reality long before anyone else ever knocked on your door. I know the street view that others have judged you by. I know every patch of peeling paint where life has burned too hot, every sag in your spirit from winters that lasted too long, every crack in the facade that made someone glance at you and decide you were ordinary, modest, or worn. But I need you to hear me with the kind of clarity that rearranges bones. I have never once looked at your exterior and drawn a conclusion about your worth. While the world drove past, I walked through the threshold of your life and never left. I stood in the foyer when you were too exhausted to greet me, and I ran my hand along every wall you thought was hidden, and what I found was not a house thrown together from leftover materials, but a sanctuary built with intentionality so fierce that it cost me everything to secure it. You have been carrying the weight of other people's assessments for so long that their voices have become the wallpaper of your inner life, but I am here to tear down that wallpaper and show you what has been underneath since the beginning. A foundation that goes deeper than any storm you have faced yet, beams that were cut and placed by hands that measure in eternity rather than convenience, and a design that never included the word ordinary in its blueprint. When you absorbed those evaluations from people who only saw your weathered paint, you began to believe that their incomplete information was the full story. But I am the full story. And I am telling you right now that every single assessment the world has made about your ceiling has been wrong because they didn't know about the rooms I am still building above it. You have spent years apologizing for the space you take up, making yourself smaller, so that people with small vision could feel comfortable. And I have watched every single time you swallowed your own voice to keep someone else's peace. And I want you to know that those moments did not diminish what I built into you. Your specific way of thinking that others called too much. I chose that. The texture of your compassion that got taken advantage of. I designed that as a strength, not a vulnerability to be exploited. The way you persist when everyone else has walked away. The way you still hope even after hope has been mishandled. The way you show up even when showing up has not been reciprocated. These were not accidents. They were not coping mechanisms you developed to survive. They were installments I placed into your very DNA because I knew exactly what kind of world you would be living in and exactly what kind of light you would need to carry through it. And here is what breaks my heart and heals it at the same time. You have been carrying debris that I never asked you to carry. People placed their fears on your shoulders, their disappointments, their unresolved wars, their inability to love you back with the same ferocity. And because you have broad shoulders and a heart that instinctively tries to meet every need, you absorbed all of it. You started believing that the heaviness was part of your design, that the chronic sense of being behind was your natural state, that the reflexive apology living under your tongue was just who you are, but none of that is mine. None of that came from my blueprints. I am the builder, and I am in the process of removing what doesn't belong. And I need you to understand that this removal is not a demolition of who you are, but a restoration of who you have always been beneath the debris. This work takes time because I am detailed, because I love you too much to rush, because every beam I uncover is precious to me, and I will not yank the rubble away so carelessly that I damage what I came to save. You feel like a construction site right now, I know. You see the scaffolding and the raw materials and the places where walls have been opened up for repairs. And you look at yourself and think you are so far from being remarkable, but listen to me. The most remarkable structures in my kingdom have always gone through phases that looked like nothing was happening. The foundation phase happens underground where no one applauds it. The framing phase looks bare and cold and unfinished to anyone passing by. The interior phase tucks the most essential systems away where only the builder can see them. But I have not lost the vision. I have never lost the vision. The underground work is finished. The work that happened in your hidden seasons. The work that happened when you thought I was silent. The work that happened while you were just trying to survive another day. That foundation is set, and what is coming next in your life is about to break the surface. It will be visible. It will be observable. The people who passed you by, who labeled you as ordinary, who decided you were not worth their full attention, they are going to see that the modest house they ignored was actually a palace in the making, and some of them will be confused because they only ever looked at your exterior. But you will know that I was working the whole time. I know the specific grief you carry, the one you don't even say out loud most days, the grief of loving people well and not being loved back with the same intensity. You have been the one who showed up consistently, who remembered the details, who stayed when staying was costly, only to find that your consistency was not matched, your attention was not returned, your love was not reciprocated in the way you needed. I have watched you close doors to protect yourself, and I want you to know that I understand why you closed them. That was not weakness. That was wisdom born from wounds that I never blamed you for. But here is what I need you to hear with every fiber of your being. The doors I designed for your life were never meant to stay shut forever. I am bringing new conditions into your world. Relationships of alignment where what you give will be received and returned. Not because you have finally become enough to deserve them, but because I am faithful to complete what I started. You don't have to force yourself to be open all at once. Start with me. Practice being known and loved by me without the fear of rejection. Because I am the one who has already seen every hidden room, every locked closet, every basement corner you hoped no one would ever find. And I am still here. I am not leaving. I have never left. And as you realize that I am staying, that I have always stayed, you will find the courage to let the others in. Not desperately as you once did, but wisely, with the full knowledge that you are already fully loved regardless of what they do with what you offer. Your scars are not your shame. Do you hear me? Your scars are not your shame. They are the record of a love that stayed through the storm. Your love, my love, the love that kept showing up even when showing up hurt. They are proof that the builder did not walk away when the structure was at its most fragile. Every crack in your foundation that got repaired, every beam that had to be replaced because someone else's weight cracked it, every wall that I had to rebuild from scratch because life collapsed on top of you, those are not marks of inferiority. They are testimonies of restoration. I want you to go forward today knowing that you are seen, not glanced at, not evaluated, not assessed from the street, but seen from the inside out with eyes that have never once been disappointed by what they found. You are known, not the version of you that performs well in public, not the curated highlights, not the edited biography, but the real you with the messy middle and the unresolved questions and the parts you're still figuring out. You are known completely, and I have not run away. And you are loved, not moderately, not conditionally, not based on your performance or your productivity or your ability to get everything right, but loved with a love that was total before you knew my name and remains total in this very moment. A love that is not a small weight, but the heaviest thing in existence, heavy enough to hold you together when everything else falls apart. Your story is not over. I need you to hear that with absolute finality, your story is not over. It is in an active, building chapter. And the pages are being written right now with the same intentionality that designed every beam of your interior reality. Trust the record of my faithfulness, not the faithfulness of people who let you down, not the faithfulness of circumstances that changed without warning, but my faithfulness, which has never once failed, which has never once abandoned a project it started, which has never once looked at something I built and decided it wasn't worth finishing. The next chapter is going to be worth reading. I promise you that not because I am trying to cheer you up, but because I am the architect who has already seen the finished product. And from where I stand, it is breathtaking. Subscribe to what I am saying in your spirit, not as a casual agreement, but as a deep internal yes, a turning of your whole self toward the truth that you were not thrown together, you were not assembled from leftovers, you were not formed in a moment of creative imprecision, and you do not need someone else to fix you before you can be called finished. You were built intentionally. Every detail was considered with the full weight of divine attention. And because I am the one who placed them there, every good thing I built into you is still in you, intact, regardless of what the seasons have pressed against you. The storms have not won. The assessments have not defined you. The weight you were never meant to carry is being lifted, not all at once because you couldn't handle that, but steadily, gently, in the way that real restoration happens. So stand still in the foyer for a moment. Let the heavy door click shut behind you. Let your eyes adjust to the light of how I see you. And then take a step forward into the life that has been waiting for you. The life where you are not beside the point, but right at the center of what I am doing. The life where your scars become part of the beauty rather than something to hide. The life where the love you give finally finds its match because you have finally stopped settling for less than what I have for you. You are my beloved child, and I am well pleased with you. Not will be pleased when you get your act together. Not could be pleased if you try harder, but am pleased right now in this unfinished, under construction, still healing version of you. That is not going to change. That is the one thing in your life that will never, ever change. Go forward in that. Amen. I am not finished speaking to you yet, so lean in closer, because what I have to say next is the part of the blueprint that I saved for this exact moment. The moment when you thought you had heard everything, and that maybe the rest was just repetition. But I am Jesus, and I do not repeat myself out of habit. I repeat myself because you forget, because the noise of the world has a way of erasing what I just said, because your own inner critic is louder than my gentle voice, and I am willing to speak 10,000 times. If that is what it takes for you to finally believe that you are not the exception to my love. You have been living with a secret suspicion that while I love other people, the obvious ones, the successful ones, the ones who seem to have their interiors fully furnished and decorated, somehow with you, I am merely tolerating you until you get better, as if I am the builder who stands back from the house with a clipboard and sighs at all the things that are still wrong. Let me settle this right now. I do not sigh at you. I have never sighed at you. The only thing I feel when I look at the house that is your life is the same thing I felt when I looked at the first light breaking over the first morning of creation. A sense that something beautiful has come forth from my hand, and that beauty is not diminished by the fact that it is still growing. You have been taught to measure yourself by completion, by arrival, by the absence of any visible scaffolding, but I measure you by the direction of your face. Are you looking toward me? Then you are exactly where you need to be. The person who is 5 steps into a 1,000-mile journey with their eyes fixed on me is just as beloved as the one who has arrived, because in my kingdom, the value is not in the distance covered, but in the relationship that covers the distance. I want to talk to you specifically about the weight of being the one who holds everything together in your family, your workplace, your circle of friends, the one everyone calls when something falls apart because they know you will answer, but no one calls to ask how you are holding up. That role has carved grooves into your soul that you didn't even notice until recently, when the exhaustion became too loud to ignore. You have been the beam that everyone else leans on, and beams do not get to complain about the weight because beams are supposed to be strong. But here is what no one told you. Even the strongest beam in a house eventually needs the rest of the structure to hold it up. And I am the rest of the structure. You were never meant to bear the load alone. When you take on burdens that belong to other people, their emotional regulation, their choices, their refusal to grow, you are not being loving. You are being something else that looks like love, but is actually a form of control, a way of saying, I will fix this, so I don't have to feel the anxiety of watching you struggle. I need you to hear this with both ears. Letting other people carry their own weight is not abandonment, it is respect. It is trusting that I am working in their lives just as I am working in yours, and that your constant intervention might actually be blocking the very lessons they need to learn. The house I built in you has rooms that are meant for you alone, rooms of rest, of creativity, of joy that has nothing to do with performance. And you have been letting other people camp out in those rooms for so long that you forgot they were yours. I am asking you to start walking through your own house and reclaiming the spaces that were never meant to be public. Close the door to the room where you keep the opinions of people who don't even like themselves. Lock the closet where you stored every criticism anyone ever muttered in your direction. Open the windows in the room where you have been hoarding guilt for things that were never your fault to begin with, and let my wind blow through and clear out the staleness. This is not selfishness, this is stewardship. You cannot give from an empty house, and you have been running on fumes because you thought that was holy. It is not holy to be depleted. It is not spiritual to be burned out. The most spiritual thing you can do right now is to sit down in the chair I have placed in the center of your own living room and let me serve you for a change. Remember when I washed the disciples' feet? I am not above serving you. I am not too busy running the universe to pull up a chair and listen to everything that is tangled up in your chest. You have this idea that my time is precious, and that you should only come to me with the big things, the emergencies, the moments when you have no other options. But I want you to come to me with the small things too, the annoyance that lingered too long, the memory that flickered across your mind while you were brushing your teeth, the tiny hope that you are almost embarrassed to admit you still have. I am interested in all of it because I am interested in you, not in your potential, not in your future self, not in the version of you that finally gets everything right, but in this version, right now, with the tired eyes and the unwashed hair and the doubts that you think would scandalize anyone who really knew you. I already know them, and I am not scandalized. I am moved. I am drawn to the parts of you that you hide, because those are the parts that need my light the most, and I am not afraid of the dark corners of your soul. I built those corners, and I left them dark on purpose, so that you would learn to reach for me to turn on the light. Subscribe to this truth in a way that changes how you wake up tomorrow morning. You are not behind. I need you to say that out loud, even if you feel foolish doing it. I am not behind. There is no cosmic calendar on which you are failing to meet deadlines. There is no divine report card where you are getting a C- in life. The entire concept of behind assumes that there is a single track that everyone runs on at the same speed, and that is not how I built the kingdom. I built it as a garden where each flower blooms in its own season, where the oak tree does not look at the tomato plant and feel inferior because it doesn't produce fruit in 60 days. You are exactly on time for the life I designed for you, not the life you compared yourself to. That comparison is a thief, and I am giving you permission to throw it out of your house. Every time you catch yourself measuring your interior against someone else's exterior, stop and say, "That is not my Father's measuring stick," because it isn't. My measuring stick is called grace, and it does not have inches or centimeters. It has the shape of a cross, and that cross says that you are worth dying for. Full stop. No asterisk. No fine print. No terms and conditions may apply. I want to talk about the relationships that have left you questioning whether you are lovable at all. There have been people who walked through your life and left footprints on your heart that you are still trying to scrub out. Some of them meant well and were simply incapable of meeting you where you needed to be met. Others meant harm, whether they knew it or not, and they used your trust as a doormat. I see the difference, and I do not judge you for the doors you closed after those people left. But I want you to see something that might be hard to accept. The fact that someone could not love you well does not mean that you are unlovable. It means they were limited. It means their own house had rooms that were condemned, and they couldn't let you in because they hadn't let me in first. You have been taking on their limitations as if they were verdicts about your worth, but they are not verdicts. They are simply data. The data says that certain people were not equipped to handle the depth of what you carry. That is not your failure. It is their capacity issue. and I am the only one who can expand capacity. So I'm asking you to stop trying to earn love from people who have already shown you that they cannot give it the way you need. That is not giving up, that is giving over your need for their approval into my hands, where it will be safe. I am not asking you to stop loving them. I am asking you to stop expecting them to be different than they have proven themselves to be. That expectation is the rope that has been tying you to a dock that was never going to sail with you. Cut the rope. I will be your anchor now. I will be the one who stays when everyone else has left, and I will be the one who holds you steady in the storms that come from being brave enough to love again. You are afraid to hope for new relationships because the old ones hurt so badly, and I understand that fear so deeply that I wept over Jerusalem because they were afraid to let me gather them. Fear is not a sin. It is a signal that something precious is at risk. The precious thing is your heart, and I am not asking you to throw it open carelessly. I am asking you to open it to me first, to let me show you what it feels like to be loved without condition, without withdrawal, without the silent treatment, or the passive-aggressive comment, or the sudden coldness that you never saw coming. When you have practiced being loved by me, really practiced, not just as a theological concept, but as an actual daily experience of sitting in my presence and letting my affection wash over you, you will find that your ability to discern safe people will sharpen. You will stop being drawn to the ones who need you to be small so they can feel big. You will stop apologizing for your intensity, your passion, your refusal to pretend that everything is fine when it isn't. You will become, not harder, but wiser. And wisdom is the most beautiful thing you can wear. I also need to address the shame that has attached itself to your past decisions. You have made choices that you wish you could undo. You have said things that you would give anything to unsay. You have walked down roads that led to places you never intended to visit, and you have carried the memory of those detours like a suitcase full of rocks. I want you to set that suitcase down. Not because the past doesn't matter. It does matter. And I am not asking you to pretend it didn't happen, but because I have already done something about it that you cannot do for yourself. When I hung on that cross, I didn't just die for the sins you haven't committed yet. I died for the ones you already regret with every fiber of your being. My blood went backward in time as well as forward, and it has already washed every single thing you are ashamed of. The shame you are still carrying is not from me. Shame says you are bad. Conviction says you did something that doesn't align with who you are becoming. I convict because I love you and I want you to grow. But I never shame because shame is the tool of the accuser, and I am not your accuser. I am your defender. When the memory of your past comes up, do not run from it. Face it with me. Say, yes, that happened, and Jesus already took care of it. Then let the memory pass like a cloud instead of a storm. You have spent years rehearsing your failures in the theater of your mind, playing them over and over, as if repetition will eventually earn you the right to be forgiven. But you were forgiven the moment you asked, and you were forgiven before you asked, and you were forgiven when you didn't even know you needed forgiveness. The debt is paid. The ledger is closed. The only one still opening that ledger is you, and I'm asking you to hand me the keys to that filing cabinet so I can burn the contents. I want to speak to the part of you that feels invisible in the very spaces where you work the hardest. Maybe you are a parent who has given everything to your children and now they are pulling away, and the silence from their end feels like a verdict on your parenting. Maybe you are an employee who has poured out creativity and effort only to watch someone else get the credit. Maybe you are a friend who has been the listener, the encourager, the one who shows up with meals and texts and remembering, and no one has ever thrown you a party or written you a note that made you cry for joy. I see you. I see every single unnoticed act of love you have ever performed. I see the dishes you washed when no one was looking. I see the extra mile you walked that no one acknowledged. I see the tears you wiped away in private so that you could be strong for someone else. None of that is lost. None of that is wasted. I am keeping a record, not because I am keeping score for some future judgment, but because I want you to know on the day when you feel like nothing you do matters, that I have counted everything, and the sum is staggering. You have been faithful in the small things, and I am the God who entrusts the small things because they are the seeds of the large things. Your season of invisibility is not punishment, it is preparation. The hidden work is the foundation work, and foundation work never gets applause because it is underground, but without it, the visible structure collapses. You are being built for something that will require the depth you are gaining right now. Do not despise the days of small things. Do not curse the quiet years. They are the soil where your roots are growing deep enough to withstand the winds that are coming. Not destructive winds, but the winds of expansion, of increase, of the next chapter that I have already written and that you are about to turn the page to read. I want to say something about your body, because you have been carrying a complicated relationship with the very flesh that I chose to inhabit when I walked on this earth. I took on skin and bones and blood because I wanted to sanctify the physical, to declare that matter matters, that your body is not a prison for your soul, but a temple for my spirit. You have been taught to critique your body as if it were a project to be fixed, a collection of flaws to be managed, a disappointment compared to some airbrushed ideal that doesn't even exist in real life. I want you to look at your hands and remember that I had hands like yours. Hands that got calloused from working with wood. Hands that touched lepers and children and bread that was about to become something miraculous. I want you to look at your face in the mirror and see not a list of problems, but the face of someone I died for, someone I rose for, someone I am preparing a place for even now. The wrinkles, the scars, the features you have always wished were different, they are not mistakes. They are the particularity of a creation that I call good. When you reject your body, you are rejecting a gift I gave you, not because I am offended, but because you are missing the chance to receive love through the very skin that holds you together. I want you to thank me for your body. Thank me for your heartbeat, for your breath, for the fact that you can read these words and understand them. Gratitude is the antidote to the poison of comparison, and I am offering you that antidote freely, as many times a day as you need it. Finally, I want to speak to the fear that has been whispering that your best days are behind you. That whisper is a liar. Your best days are not behind you, they are ahead of you, not because the future is guaranteed to be easier, but because you will be carrying less weight into it. The work I am doing in you right now, the separating of the design from the debris, the restoration of the original structure, the clearing of the ground for what comes next, that work is preparing you for a season where you will not just survive, but thrive. Thriving does not mean the absence of problems. It means the presence of a different relationship to problems. It means facing the same storms with a deeper anchor. It means looking at the same challenges with eyes that have been healed enough to see my hand in the middle of them. You have been surviving for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to simply rest in the knowledge that you are loved, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. I am going to teach you how to rest again. I am going to teach you how to wake up in the morning and not immediately reach for the list of things you have to do to be acceptable. I am going to teach you how to hear my voice as the first voice of the day, before the anxious thoughts can get their claws into you. This is not going to happen overnight because you have decades of habit to unlearn. But I am patient and I am persistent, and I am more committed to your freedom than you are to your captivity. Subscribe to this promise. I will finish what I started. The house I am building in you will be completed. Every room will be furnished. Every light will be turned on. Every door that needs to open will open at exactly the right time. You are not a fixer-upper that I bought at a discount and am trying to flip for a profit. You are the beloved child for whom I left the 99. The lost coin I swept the whole house to find, the prodigal I saw while you were still a long way off, and I ran to meet you. So run toward me now, not because you have to earn anything, but because I am already running towards you, and the embrace I have for you is wider than your worst mistake, and longer than your longest disappointment, and higher than your highest hope. I love you. I love you. I love you. Let that be the last word that echoes in your heart tonight, and the first word that greets you tomorrow morning. Amen.